The trends is that
in an economy driven by consumer spending on the next big thing, there's probably no business that feels the effect of that more than the fashion industry. Every fall and spring, yep, designers have to find the next hot item. Hey, it's Aldous Huxley's Brave New World or face the consequences. Here in New York, Fashion Week kicks off tomorrow, and we are joined now by Cynthia O'Connor, whose job it is to find emerging designers and turn them into hot commodities. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
hi, Cynthia. Welcome to Happy Hours. So this is really interesting because we have so many people who come on this show and they're really trying to, either break into the denim industry or handbags or so forth. How do you make it? I mean, how do you decide that
jeans,
this is,
by the way.
Yeah, how do you decide that this is the person that I want to, you give them the marketing, the reach that you have with your distributors and your department stores. How do you know what will be a success?
I have a special formula that I use for myself. I ask the question, where's your next $5 million? And my favorite answer is my husband, or, and I'm like, their hand will freeze, okay? That's the worst one of all. So really, that's the first question I always ask. So that right there takes the playing field way down, okay? The next thing that I really do is I talk to the person. It's all about how creative they are. I don't really look at the line. I mean, I will look at the lines, and internet has really helped, so you can see JPEGs and things like that. But really, the talent is coming from the person. So Kate Spade, when I found her, it was all about the conversation that we had. What she actually was showing at the show wasn't terrific, but I knew that she and Andy had something. Me and Rose, same thing.
In that concept, then, in other words, what you're saying, I want to go back to that $5 million number. Yeah. You need to find someone who's got who's well capitalized in their business already. You're not out there finding someone who's just doing a few samples and trying to break out then. Years
ago I did, and now it's gotten a little tougher because we have a reputation for building designers. So really, I like to take companies that are around $1.5 million, that they're factored. Factoring relationships are very important. But you're right, you have to have money and you've got to know where it's going to come from. And even at the $10 million level, you usually have to raise capital again.
How does somebody stand out? And I mean, the retail industry is so tough. I always thought in my dreams of dreams, because there are very few petite lines out there that are very hip and trendy and so forth. I mean, everything I have to have hemmed or taken in or whatever. But how do you stand out in such an industry that's so competitive? What would you recommend to people?
Well, my first thing is there's a lot of designers out there who just start designing because their husband wants them to have a hobby or whatever like that. And so they start their line. At $3 million is where you know whether or not they're going to make it. I have seen more companies really go out of business at $3 million, and they lose a lot of, well, that's a lot of money.
Have you ever seen a company who's funded, who's basically doing it because their husband wants them to, that actually succeeded?
Somebody told me something the other day that the new, instead of husbands collecting Jaguars, their wives open a business. So.
But what is it? Something I guess somebody has to. It seems like, though, if you get a celebrity to wear your product or endorse it or something, then boom, yours takes off.
The marketing is important. The way I've built brands in the industry is a critical mass of specialty stores. So if you have 700 stores across the United States, Midland, Texas, Jackson, Mississippi, and then you put it in the major department stores, you've got a brand. So that can happen quickly, and I think a lot of people make mistakes by being in business for 5 minutes and going to Neiman Marcus and trying to sell them a line. They have no idea how they're going to ship it, produce it, and they don't even realize that if they got a $100,000 order, they need $100,000 to produce the line.
Right.
So
now, in your business itself, how many employees do you have? Where are you located? You have a showroom. What the heck is a showroom anyway?
A lot of people call it a showcase or a store, but it's not. It's a store for retailers. So we have a 12,000 square foot showroom in New York, a 4,000 square foot showroom in LA, 2 floors. We have about 7,000 stores. Next week we have Market Week, which starts, this Friday, and we have about 127 appointments, which is a lot of appointments.
It's a lot of people coming through the door.
It's a lot of people.
Hey, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Please come back sometime.